Hi everyone, this is the 21st of April. This is a short video about the recent inflation figures. Yesterday, the Statistics New Zealand released the March 2023 quarter inflation data, and annual inflation was reported to be 6.7%, lower than in the previous three quarters when consecutively we had 7.3, 7.2 and 7.2 again. To be honest, I was surprised. I didn't expect this decrease in the inflation, but actually after I thought it through, it was quite a textbook example of how monetary policy increasing the interest rates work. Well, what is this? Typically, there's a consensus that the interest rates increasing cycle can create real result in the inflation after 1.5 years. This cycle started in November 2021, and now we are exactly 1.5 years after, so we should expect the results. And here they are. Now, there is another condition. I talked about the liquidity trap environment in one of the previous videos, and I believe in a liquidity trap environment where investments are weak into the real economy. Nobody is interested to invest, maybe only into housing, but there's the last resort for investments. Typically, investors don't execute them because they don't see profitable options because of the pure demand side. Now, allegedly, this is a demand pull inflation. No, it is a supply side shock or negative productivity shock, whichever we call it. Prior to this inflation, the whole global economy was in a liquidity trap environment. There were no profitable investments on site, and this continues, and in this environment inflation cannot last very long. Now, on the negative side, I have to highlight that food prices were increasing quickly. That is mostly domestic inflation. That shows that economic actors don't trust that inflation might come down quickly. That's a bad sign. On the other hand, Cyclone Gabriel's effect were not yet in this reported period. It might come later, so that's a bit negative. Also, to the forecast, what I see is in the coming months, the war in Ukraine might intensify, and that might affect raw material prices, mostly energy and raw materials, and probably wet. Commodity markets might tumble a bit, but hopefully that's not gonna happen, or we might have peace very quickly. I am pessimistic in this regard, but concerning inflation, the signs are good and it's coming down. Now, what do we have here? Yes, one more note. When I analyzed the various components of the consumer basket, I noticed that services were not getting more and more expensive. No, services had 3.4% annual inflation. This is a signal that overall the population doesn't trust their condition to improve. Usually when consumer confidence is strong and they see prospect in the future increase in their income, they more often use services like hairdressers, gym tickets, pools, movies, whatever, but this time no. These service prices are a clear indicator that actually the economy is not in a strong position. This is just a message to Mr. Grant Robertson, who is always saying that we are in a good position. I disagree with that assessment. But altogether, I would say fate is on the side of the government, and typically governments win 3 election cycles. So in this regard, the government has good chances to win again in October, and Mr. Robertson already announced that the fuel excise tax reduction will be phased out after June, and the increase of petrol prices that will come back after July, that period will not be reported in terms of CPI inflation before the election. Those data will appear only 5 days after the election. So it was a tricky move. Of course, it was political, but it seems the government can point to the facts that inflation is coming down. They have very good chances for that. So, well, this is also good because that will create pressure on the opposition parties to come up with some substantially new and really creative, progressive policy ideas. Hope for the best. Thank you for watching.